What's up, G Show Land, and welcome to another episode of the G Show Podcast. I am G1, and this is the Geek Out, episode 17. Y'all might be saying, episode 17, didn't y'all do episode 17 yesterday? Yeah, but you know what? I'm not calling it. I'm just going to call that the Comic-Con review. This is the legit episode 17, where we're going to review bits and pieces of Comic-Con, just to recap what we liked, what we didn't, and we're also going to pay a little bit of respect to the man, George Romero, and everything he's done for us today. But before we get into all that, let me introduce you to the panel. Coming in with the marathon session from last night, he's back, my man, C. Monty Chris, man. How are you functioning today?
Tired.
Yeah, I feel you.
I legit stayed up till 3 a.m. seeing if they did the Pacific Standard Time midnight drop.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Also joining us back from doing laundry, which is a great thing. He missed out yesterday, but he is here today as my right hand, G95, a.k.a. Matt. What's up, my brother?
I am also tired, but not from staying up super late and podcasting all day.
Yeah, we sure did marathon it yesterday, all day. It was a good time, though. It was definitely a good time. What wasn't a good time, though, was Marvel. Marvel playing with us. But God bless the internet, huh? Because we have seen that Avengers Infinity War trailer. We ain't mad no more. Granted, it's not the best quality, but I seen two different versions. The version I posted up early on the G Show page was a shit version. It got taken down. The version you just posted up, Matt, was a much better version. You get to see the full screen. Mine was just about a quarter screen. So let's talk about that first, because we were kind of pissed off that didn't happen yesterday. The internet now, the fanboys in Hall H, deliver for us once again. So I'm going to start with you, Chris, because, we were the ones really hoping for it yesterday. What were your thoughts on finally getting to see this trailer?
I mean, I was happy, and it's just like, it made me realize this morning, because we were both really disappointed that Marvel just didn't drop it yesterday when they should have and everything like that. And it's made me realize, like, thinking about it, what's the point? What's the point in holding on to it? Because it's the age of the internet. The shit is going to leak. Someone, I don't care what rules you post up, what security you have, somebody's going to sneak their phone into Hall H. They're going to be quiet in a little corner, like just leaning up like that, just getting the screen and everything. It's going to get out there. You can't control it. You can't stop it. So you might as well just release it wide. Like I said, even if it's just an hour after you do the Comic-Con panel and everything like that. But to say that, like, oh, we're going to do the Comic-Con panel and do it exclusively for the Comic-Con fans, and maybe in a week you get it. No, we're going to get it when we want to get it, because our people are on the inside. Like, we're going to share it with you guys.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't make sense for Marvel to be like, nah, you're going to wait till we do it. We're not.
Okay, but what did you think of the trailer itself?
Sorry.
That's all right.
After what I thought about the trailer itself, I dug it. I'm going to be honest with you. Maybe it's just because it's poor quality, so I didn't really get to absorb it, but I still feel like the Justice League trailer is the one that grabbed me.
Wow, okay, look at this.
Like, I know this probably, especially knowing our history and everything like that, you're probably like, damn, because, like, I'm more of a Marvel fan than a DC fan. I've been shitting on DC movies for years. When the first Justice League trailer dropped, and when we talked about it at one of the earlier podcasts, and I was just like, it feels video gamey. I'm not really digging it. For me to come out and say that I dug the Justice League trailer more than the Infinity War trailer, I think DC took Comic-Con this year. I think they did. Last night I said it because I was disappointed in Marvel for not releasing the trailer. Now I'm legit. Like, I feel like DC won.
Wow.
I think they had the better trailer.
Matt, Chris made some good points about the age of the internet. The things are going to leak anyhow. Is it smart for Warner Brothers to get out ahead? And not only Warner Brothers, because Fox does it, Legendary does it. A lot of studios, they do it now. To get out ahead of all of the leaks and say, okay, here you go. And 5 minutes later, dump it online in full HD glory, coming from them themselves. That's a smart move on their part, right?
I would say so, but there's also something, I don't know, maybe it's just a, like, secret detective in me. I like looking for, like, trying to find the trailer and watching a shitty quality, and there's something just really exciting about that. You're seeing something that not a lot of other people are seeing, because, I mean, the small niche of people that actually do go out hunting for these things or just kind of stumble across them or will even tolerate a poor quality trailer for instead of just waiting for the real thing. Like, that's kind of a small market, so we're getting kind of like early access to stuff that, you know, a lot of people aren't, and that's kind of fun. But I do also really appreciate the, you know, full 1080p glory of things too. But I mean, if you remember last year, the Suicide Squad trailer, or it was 2 years ago, I don't remember. The Suicide Squad trailer leaked online, and we all saw bootleg versions. And then DC released their full trailer like a few days later or something like that.
That's right.
So I mean, they still do that. It's just, I think, circumstantial. You know, like, it's a case by case thing. You know, sometimes Marvel release, like, you know, Thor 2 or Thor 3, excuse me, Ragnarok, they put it out at the same time as, you know, it was airing at Comic-Con, and we all saw it. And yeah, I mean, I think the DC panel was 2 hours long. I think they might have gotten a look at Aquaman.
They did.
And I mean, that's obviously hasn't been leaked. So it is. I think it's a circumstantial case by case thing.
Yeah, definitely agree. The Aquaman thing they did, because I watched that. I wound up watching the DC panel yesterday, the Justice League panel. It was about 25 minutes or so, and they brought out Momoa first, and then they screened footage. So of course, you know, the cameras went off, and then they came back, and the crowd's going crazy. But I think the money was the Justice League trailer. Like, that was the one everybody was anticipating, because we want to see more, especially after Wonder Woman. And it's like, okay, here you go. And yeah, here you go, everybody else. But yeah, I totally agree. I forgot about the Suicide Squad thing. And I mean, even back in the day, a couple of years ago when Age of Ultron came out and it leaked, and Marvel played it off really well. It was a damn you Hydra, and dropped the full trailer. It's inevitable. We're going to get it. I do like what you say, Matt, as far as, you know, being that super detective, trying to find the trailer online. And yeah, I kind of feel you on that, because there is something fun about watching these trailers, like Chris said, when somebody's got their camera all leaned back and just sneaking it. I do kind of dig that when the quality's right. You know what I mean? This trailer that you posted up on the page, that was decent quality for a cam footage thing. And I mean that because we actually got to see pretty much the whole screen. There was a girl's head in the lower left corner, but that's okay. It didn't really take away from it. But what did you think of the trailer?
It was incredible. I loved it. It looks like a movie that's going to be just nonstop action, with how it just kind of opens. You know, the Guardians just kind of, I don't know, out and about on a mission, and then, you know, something crazy happens and Thor shows up. Like, that just, for some reason, it just reminds me of like movies from my childhood, where just, like, you know, the action just picks up right away from something weird. It doesn't look like it's going to take long to, you know, it's going to trot along for an hour with filler bullshit, and then just, you know, then get to the action. It looks like it's going to be, it's a 2-part film. It's going to be about the action. I think that's going to be the centerpiece. So, and that trailer just showed it. It was like, you know, I feel like that's a good representation of how the movie's going to be. It's going to set things up, and then it's just going to play out. It's just going to be a huge battle, or several battles, or whatever. I mean, we still don't have a lot of plot details, because it's still just under a year out. But yeah, I mean, it looks like it's going to be nonstop action. It looks incredible. I mean, we got the Iron Spider in there now. We got Guardians kicking ass. Thanos looks weird without his headpiece crown thing. He just looks really off. But, yeah, you know, that's whatever. But yeah, I'm excited to see Nebula in there too. And yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah, I like the trailer too, man. I can't lie. Sorry, Chris. We're 2-1, 2 for, 1 against. That's cool. I
didn't say yes. I just said I just kind of preferred the Justice League trailer.
I feel you. I got you. I like the trailer.
It could, like I said, it could just be a thing of the quality. I was able to fully appreciate the Justice League trailer because I saw it in all its 1080p glory. Maybe when I see Infinity trailer, in full HD, I'll be like, all right, fuck this, I changed my mind.
Yeah, I feel you. The descriptions from D23, everything was, spot on, and I dug it. I really did dig this trailer, man, from the beginning with the Guardians and Thor to the end with Thanos bringing down a moon. That was crazy, and I want to see that in 1080p because it was a little hard to see, exactly what's going on there. But you can definitely make out that there's a giant glowing sphere behind Thanos, and one of those gems is glowing, and he raises his hand back and brings it forward, and then meteorites. And I'm like, yes, please, thank you. You know what I just realized? Oh, no, never mind. I did see the Hulk in there. I was like, I don't think I saw the Hulk in there. I saw a Hulk Buster, but I didn't. But yeah, we did. It's early. I'm tired still from yesterday. But yeah, man. Good shit, internet. Good shit, people in Hall H. Good shit, fanboys looking out for the fanboy community. I appreciate that from you guys. And, hopefully Marvel says, okay, just drop the goddamn trailer. You know what I'm saying? And they don't wait till October. It's out. Just put it out, dudes.
It just almost kind of felt like a troll move on Marvel's part. Like, we all know from D23, you've been waiting a week. Been waiting for this Infinity War trailer. So here's Thor Ragnarok. Like,
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You see, it took a minute to register what you just said. I'm still sleeping. But no, absolutely. Matt, you weren't with us yesterday. We said our piece about it. I want to get your take, man. What did you think of that Justice League trailer, brother?
Yeah, that was also really, really fucking cool. I was a little, underwhelmed. The first trailer just really stuck with me. There was something about it that just, really got me. I was kind of in awe of the whole thing, but this one just seemed like another trailer. I don't know, there wasn't anything too special about it. There was nothing that really stood out to me. The dick tease at the end with Alfred talking to either Superman or Green Lantern.
Yeah.
One of the two. We all know it's one of those two.
Chris already made his prediction, and he called it Booster Gold.
All right, I can see it. But I liked the little Steppenwolf reference to there's no lanterns here, there's no Kryptonians. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And just the scope of things. It looks like it's going to be a battle that takes place over the entire world, and that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
I was expecting more Batman in the trailer, but because he's seeming to be the centerpiece of the whole movie right now. He's kind of the linchpin, but it's understandable that this seemed to be more of a Wonder Woman. I got the feeling this was more of a Wonder Woman sort of driven trailer, just from coming off of her movie. But that's just my thoughts and views on it, my interpretation. But yeah, it was cool, but it didn't stick with me like the Infinity War one did. But maybe that's because I just watched the Infinity War one 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And Justice League a day ago.
Nah, I gotcha. Nah, I feel you. Because I feel the same way too, and I'm like, I gotta watch that Justice League trailer again, even though I've seen it 20 times yesterday. When I went up there, I was like, damn you, Marvel. I'm gonna watch the Justice League trailer again. And the Thor Ragnarok trailer was cool too. Still not better than the first one, my personal opinion. That's the best trailer of all time. But, so, all right, Matt, we ran down a whole bunch of things. Without going into too much detail, just tell me some of the highlights as far as trailers are concerned that we did get to see. Tell me what stood out to you the most, and what were some of the things that you were kind of like, man.
I think Justice League was kind of the big thing that's been officially released out of everything. I was we were talking about this a bit yesterday, but this is kind of a letdown of the Comic-Con for me.
Yeah.
There just wasn't anything too special. We were all expecting the Pacific Rim trailer. We just got a dumb teaser that I don't know, the posters were all really cool for Ragnarok, the 3-piece kind of poster they had for Infinity War. That was really cool. Black Panther. I didn't think Ready Player One looked all that great either. I don't know. something about it just didn't really appeal to me, but I'm sure I'll go see it when it comes out. Stranger Things was awesome. Can't wait for that.
Yeah.
I don't know, what else was there?
I mean, after that, I mean, those were like the big ones. They didn't show. Fox didn't show anything. Fox didn't give it. They showed us TV stuff. They didn't give us anything from Deadpool 2. They didn't give us anything from Dark Phoenix. Not even concept art. You know, it's kind of a bummer. What do you think? Because you know, me and Chris talked about this. What do you think about Fox? A, trying to keep the Fantastic Four by doing a Doctor Doom movie, and B, what do you think about the reports coming out that they're going to reassess their Alien franchise?
Doctor Doom, I think, is probably a dumb idea. Just because, I don't know, I think they're never, ever going to get Fantastic Four right. I don't think they're ever going to get superheroes right. Because they made 2 good X-Men movies out of, like, 10 now. You know, X2 and Logan. Still, X2 is just bar none one of the best superhero movies ever.
I agree.
But, I don't know, they should stick to their own, like, not other people's IPs. They should stick to their own franchises, I guess, which I guess is a good segue to Alien, because that's their own IP. And, like, yeah, they should totally reassess it, because Ridley Scott is apparently a crazy man, and he wants to do crazy things. And I don't think, like, how he just jumps from project to project makes it seem like, you know, we would wrap up this trilogy, these next 3 or 4 Alien movies he has planned to finally bridge the gap between Prometheus and Alien. It sounds like we finish up that storyline 20 years from now, and 20 years from now he's going to be like 90. I don't even, like, is he going to be even alive at that point? Like, he's 70 now. Like, how many more movies does he have left in him? Especially, like, stressful $100 million, $200 million movies like Alien would cost. You know, that can't be an easy job to be in charge of all that money and expect to make it back and then some.
Totally.
So, I mean, I don't have a lot of faith in him. I think Fox needs to get behind somebody who knows what they're doing and has a clear vision in mind that doesn't keep changing their minds, because he's clearly changed his mind several times over the, you know, between Covenant and Prometheus, where he wanted the story to go. So yeah, I think reassessing is a really good idea. I don't think reboot is necessary. I think there's still good course correction that can be done to fix all the shit that was Covenant, but I think it's probably good if somebody else takes the reins.
I hear you. Chris, we were talking yesterday about the Michelle Pfeiffer being in Ant-Man and the Wasp. This morning I see Lawrence Fishburne is also in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Why are they taking all the damn DC characters, bro? I'm getting a little tired of this team swapping shit.
I don't know. What I do know is that, because there was a couple of announcements that I made after we did the Final Live podcast, I was like, why couldn't they have announced that while we were doing it? Because they also mentioned, because I also saw a report that Clancy Brown of Lex Luthor fame from the animated series Lex Luthor is going to be doing the voice of Surtur in
Ragnarok? What?
You didn't see I sent you the thing last night.
Dude, yeah, did I? I might have. I might not have. I might have been watching that Justice League panel.
But yeah, so Clancy Brown's going to be the voice of Surtur, which, like, again, another stolen thing from DC. Like, he was the voice of Lex Luthor for an entire generation growing up, and now he's doing Marvel.
But is it really stealing? Because he's done voices for Marvel too. I mean, he's a voice actor.
It's not like stealing, but I'm just playing off of what Ray said, like, you know, the team swapping thing. And, you know, Lawrence Fishburne, I'm intrigued because I'm wondering who Lawrence Fishburne is going to be. Because we know that Walton Goggins in the movie, they announced his character. I forget what the name was, but I know he was supposed to be like a rival of Tony Stark. That I'm assuming is going to be like, you know, a tech rival of Hank Pym now, because he's playing more towards the Ant-Man thing. So I'm just intrigued to find out who Lawrence Fishburne is going to be in this movie. Because they announced his cast, but they didn't announce his character. We know Michelle Pfeiffer's going to be Janet Van Dyne, who is Lawrence Fishburne going to be?
Yeah. Matt, let me ask you. If they make another Man of Steel movie and Perry White's in it and it's Lawrence Fishburne, are you okay with this cross? I mean, at the end of the day, an actor's an actor. They're going to get paid either way. But do you mind seeing, him on one side and then on another side, unless they kill him off in Ant-Man and the Wasp, we don't know. But are you okay with that?
No, I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care who does what. I'm a fan of Lawrence Fishburne. I like his acting. He's good. He's always fun to watch. So if I could see him in two of my favorite things, then that's better for me.
Yeah, I think Disney said, "Hey, listen, Lawrence, you got to get over here, right? Or we're gonna write you out of Blackish." That's what they. We're gonna have ABC take you out. All right, let's go down the line real quick. Chris, your final thoughts on Comic-Con? What we saw? What were your favorite things, and what were your least favorite things?
I don't really have any least favorite things. I guess there are certain things that didn't maybe like. I guess you've put it in those terms that there are certain things that didn't really grab me as much as other stuff. Like Matt said, like for me, the Ready Player One trailer looked really cool, and we talked about it yesterday. It looked amazing. I'll probably go see it, but I'm not sure if it really grabbed me in the same way as a lot of the superhero stuff did. I was disappointed with the Pacific Rim tease.
Yeah.
It felt more like a trailer for a Pacific Rim video game than it did for a Pacific Rim movie. I loved the Stranger Things trailer. Like, the superhero stuff was cool, but for like as far as stuff that like really got me excited for something I hadn't seen yet, I think the Stranger Things 2 trailer was probably the one that topped everything to me. Between the Justice League and Infinity War trailer, right now I got to rock with Justice League. Like I said, that just could be an issue of the quality. Like I was able to fully appreciate it because of the quality. What else? I'm really hoping that some Punisher stuff leaks.
Yeah.
Because I know they aired footage and they haven't shown it to us yet. As much as I said that I was on an embargo for Black Panther till it actually drops, what my friend was saying about what he saw the footage yesterday in Hall H, I kind of want to drop the embargo so I can see that if it comes out. I like the idea of them bringing Skrulls into the Marvel Universe, even if, like, you said you weren't a fan of the Secret Invasion thing or whatever like that. I just think it's cool that they're bringing the Skrulls in. It could lead to some intriguing stuff. I want to see that Aquaman footage, man.
Yeah.
I want to see that Aquaman footage because I fucking got a huge man crush on Jason Momoa, so I want to see that Aquaman footage. I think that about wraps it. The Kingsman Golden Circle trailer, the new one. I dug that. I like that little scene where like he's like that's like the most American thing ever, and Channing Tatum's like, "Fuck yeah!" Like I dug that. Yeah, I mean, I think that pretty much sums it up for me. Like there was a lot of cool stuff, but probably not as exciting as it could have been, and as it has been in past Comic-Cons where they did like the major reveals.
Gotcha. Matt, what about you? What are some of your favorite things and least favorite things at Comic-Con?
That Justice League poster was great.
Ooh, yes.
Alex Ross inspired one. That was fantastic. I didn't get a chance to watch the Kingsman trailer yet, but I'm sure I would love that one because I'm really excited for that movie. Trying to think what else really big came out. The new Monarch file with Mothra, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Very unexpected, but it was cool. I don't know. There was no like big least favorites or big really like I'm just let down by the whole thing because like there wasn't any really really big things besides Justice League and Thor. Really, I mean official anyway. I mean Infinity War, but we got the bootleg, so does that really count?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just wish there was more because there's so many good movies coming out in the rest of the year and next year, and so many good things that they could have announced for the coming years. I mean, okay, so Shazam is the next DC movie to be made without The Rock anymore. Rock's out.
Yeah, that's bad.
I guess they kind of canceled their plans on doing a Shazam and Black Adam separate movies and then have them meet up in a a Shazam trilogy almost. Flashpoint is kind of a weird choice for the first Flash movie. Gotham City Sirens wasn't on their like list of movies that they were doing, but neither was the Joker and Harley movie, and they said they wanted to fast track that.
Get that shit out of here.
I think they could have just done like 3 birds with one stone with Batgirl, Gotham City Sirens, and Joker and Harley, like all 3 of those in just one movie, and that would have been fine. No Man of Steel 2. Suicide Squad 2 is being like fast tracked, which is kind of weird too, because like out of the 3 or 4 DC movies we have so far, that was probably the least successful and worst reviewed. It's just, I don't know, maybe they don't have their shit together as much as we thought they did now.
Uh-oh.
But no matter where they go, I'll be in it for along the ride, and I'm excited to see where they go. But yeah, it was just overall, it was kind of a letdown, because last year, I remember we were all just so excited because it was just trailer, new news, trailer, just like fucking every 10 minutes, it seemed like it was just nonstop all weekend long, and it was great. And this year it's like, oh, okay, that dropped. All right, cool. Now, can I have some like real news? No? Okay.
Yeah, I totally agree. Starting with the negatives, nothing came out of this Comic-Con. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. There's no big news and as far as movies go. With DC dropped their little slate of movies, the Flashpoint thing's very interesting because that's a way to kind of soft reboot everything and course correct. The same way I think with Ms. Marvel being, a prequel set in the 90s with Skrulls. But like I said yesterday, I just find it hard to believe that if, let's say Captain America was a Skrull. So this way they can change Chris Evans out, pass another guard. I don't know how that's going to play out, but that's way far away from now. I'm not even going to go crazy. But yeah, Man of Steel 2 missing's kind of head scratcher. I said it yesterday, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it all the way to hell. I hate the idea of a Joker Harley Quinn movie. I don't need to see that shit at all. You're right. Put it in Gotham City Sirens. Take whatever you want to do, throw it in Gotham City Sirens. Make it a piece of the plot there. Because I have zero tolerance for that shit. I don't want to see it.
I am all for seeing more Jared Leto Joker, though.
Oh, yeah, me too.
You and I are fans.
Exactly. I'm cool with that. It's a standalone Joker and Harley movie. I don't even want, because then you're going to have all these wannabe Bonnie and Clydes coming all over the place and acting stupid. And I will start clotheslining people. I will Hulk out. But, yeah. So as far as just Comic-Con as a whole, it kind of thumbs down it because nothing really came from it. The things I like the most, of course, the Justice League trailer. I dug the Thor trailer. Kingsman Golden Circle trailer was dope. I love the Monarch thing, And what was cool about that, though, it was kind of like a scavenger hunt or something like that, where you had to find certain clues, upload it to Instagram or Facebook or wherever, and then if they hit like X amount of numbers, there would be a reveal. And of course, they did it, and it was the Martha thing. I really dug it. That's going to be a fun thing to talk about and speculate on the Godzilla Block Party next week. And yeah, outside of that, the things I saw like on IGN's live stream while we weren't recording yesterday, toy things like the Ninja Turtle NECA line, I thought that was pretty awesome. There was a whole bunch of other stuff. There was some cool DC stuff, some cool Marvel stuff. Is things that I can't afford right now, but those were the kind of things that was running Comic-Con. Nothing else. Oh, I did a couple of interviews. The cast of like The Flash. I didn't know Keenan Lyonsdale. I can't pronounce his name, but Kid Flash. I didn't know he was British. Kudos to that. Yeah, so Comic-Con as a whole, But I will say this. You guys want to like feel awkward? Watch the Justice League panel. Like I said, it's like 25 minutes long. Ben Affleck is talking, and they ask Ben Affleck the question. They say, yo, what's the deal? We're hearing these rumors, and he comes out and he's like, listen, I'm a lucky guy. I love this character. I love Matt Reeves. I love what we're doing. I love. I ain't going nowhere. And Ezra Miller, throughout the whole panel, is kind of like the jokester. Like, he's cracking jokes here and there. He's making the crowd laugh. He's getting into it. He came out dressed as the dude from Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was cool.
Alphonse, I think.
Yeah, I don't know his name, but yeah, Alphonse, I think it is. So he comes out and he's like, Ben Affleck is saying all this stuff, and then Ezra Miller cracks a joke. I forgot what he said, but you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, because that is the moment Ben Affleck's demeanor changes completely. He shoots this kid a look. Ezra Miller notices it, puts on this really weird fake smile face, turns around and said, "I just fucked up." Like, and you can see his whole face drop. And from that moment on, that panel was awkward. And I mean, I was sitting here watching this like, oh shit, something just went down and it's ugly, terrible, and fuck. I mean, thank you for the crowd participation. It wound up picking back up. Ben Affleck's, sort of came back, but it just reminded me of that interview with him in Superman. And then the meme, then the music starts. His face just dropped. I was like, wow. So, I don't know if Ben Affleck is finished facing all his demons, but you guys look at that. I'll tell you, y'all will laugh. And Jason Momoa steals the damn show. Jason Momoa running around barefoot with the trident. I was like, look at this crazy motherfucker. I love him. He's a psychopath. But
I think anybody is more grateful to be a part of the DC world than Jason Momoa.
Absolutely. And the kid that plays Cyborg, too, he was really cool. He was a cool dude there at the interview also. I was digging him and shit. And Gal Gadot just looked fantastic. I was like, look at you, baby. Oh, Wonder Woman. But yeah, so that's Comic-Con in a nutshell. I guess the consensus here is it didn't really thrill us. It gave us some moments, but it didn't really come together. I'm so with that. I wonder if New York Comic-Con is if they're gonna bring it there, if they're gonna go crazy.
I don't know. Generally, with the New York Comic-Con, they don't have the big panels like that. They don't have the big Hall H stuff. A lot of the celebrities don't go out. It's easier for them because most of them live in California, so it's easier for them to do the SDCC because it's like right in their backyard. But in general, when you're looking at the New York Comic-Con, it's not like these big events like they do in San Diego. So I don't know.
But still, big news comes out of there.
Yeah, but
the cast there to drop news.
That's true. Or trailers, for that matter. I mean, I could see New York City Comic Con is where we get the next Last Jedi trailer, or the final Last Jedi trailer. Well, yeah, because they didn't even show it.
It's a lot closer to like the release dates of some of these movies now too, because it's October. You got Punisher coming out in November.
Mm-hmm.
Thor Ragnarok November, Black Panther next year, Infinity War what is it, late May, early June or whatever. So yeah, I guess I could see some big news, but I don't think it's gonna because it's normally not anything at a New York Comic Con that blows people away the way the San Diego Con usually does. So if San Diego Con was this kind of disappointing, I really don't have much expectations for NYCC.
We shall see come November. We'll probably do another live stream. No, I don't think we'll do that. But we'll see what happens when that time comes. Speaking of time that came, terrible way to segue into this. Last week, after we finished the podcast, about an hour later, we find out that George A. Romero passed away now. Growing up, I kid you not, I was scared shit of zombies. And it's his fault. I didn't like them. I didn't like the idea of dead people coming back, biting you, and you turning into them. I was scared. Michael Jackson's Thriller, that video scared me as a child. It wasn't until I had one of those little red viewfinders with the Thriller thing, where I could just look at it while it's not moving and say, okay, and start to really focus in on all the details and say, okay, this ain't that scary. And then I, can start watching it. What got me into zombies, though, wasn't Romero. It was Return of the Living Dead Part 2. It used to come on WPIX, Channel 11, New York. Back in the days, they used to put it on at night during the week. It'd be like the nightly movie. And I watched it, and I found it hysterically funny, and I was like, and the zombies were cool, the zombies, they kind of grotesque and whatever. I dug it, and then one Halloween, I will never ever forget this, nobody was doing anything. I was probably 14 or 15. I was bored out of my mind. Nobody was outside. I was like, this is whack. And I was upstairs watching TV, and I'm flicking, and I flick on VH1. and the original black and white Night of the Living Dead is playing, and I had never seen that movie. And I sat there and I watched it for the first time and fell in love with it. And I was like, oh shit, this is it. This is it. And from that point on, I just pretty much ate up all of his zombie stuff, with the exception of the last two. And the Crazies and Creep Show and Monkey Shines and the Dark Half. And I didn't get to see Martin yet, Matt, but I'll tell you, I will see that. And I will see that real soon. But he became a part of everything I loved about movies and cinema, and he really enforced my love for zombies. Like, because of his movies, zombies became my favorite thing. And yeah, right now in this day and age, they're way overdone. Everything's zombie, zombie, zombie. You got the Walking Dead stuff, you know, zombie video games, all this craziness. But George Romero, he gave birth to the living dead. They weren't Haitian voodoos, zombies. They were dead people rising from the grave and amassing their ranks. And I loved him for that. So when I found out he passed away, I mean, you kind of see it coming. The man is a heavy smoker. He was 77 years old, smoking forever. That shit catches up to you. But from me to you, George, thank you for the countless hours of entertainment and giving me some of the best black leads in movies, because I love Ben, and I can't for the life of me right now remember his name, but I love the dude in Dawn of the Dead also, because I thought he was gone. I thought he was going to die. The music switches. He turns around, punches a zombie in the face, says, fuck this, I'm getting in that helicopter. I love it. Still to this day, one of the greatest endings of all time. I loved it. That's me. Matt.
Yeah, I can kind of just reiterate pretty much everything you said, but my introduction to him was when I was probably 7 years old. We went over to my uncle's house, and my uncle had VHS copies of Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead, and I was just kind of like enthralled by these covers because they looked so weird and just out there. And like, I remember my dad always telling me about these movies, you know, these two especially, because he was a huge zombie fan. He was my introduction to Return of the Living Dead and stuff. So I have a lot of memories from him telling me stories about these movies that I was too young to see. And so my uncle let me actually keep these tapes with a handful of others, like Nutty Professor and like the original live action Scooby-Doo movie and a bunch of others, but you know. And then like I never watched them for years. I didn't probably watch them until I was 10 or 11 or 12 years old. They just sat on my shelf and I would just look at them like someday. And, you know, someday finally came and I was just enthralled. I loved it. Like, it was like I couldn't get enough of it. And that was right around the time when I started really getting into horror movies. It was like in early middle school. And, you know, I started finally able to see these things. And that's when Netflix started picking up. Like, that's when it started like gaining traction, and we were getting, you know, 3 DVDs in the mail like 2 or 3 times a week, and they'd always be horror movies. And I would watch these horror movies, these classics that I'd read about in magazines or read about in books or hear other people tell me about, and then I would get them from Netflix. I would watch them. And then I would just like research them. So that's how I learned more about people like Wes Craven and Tom Savini and George Romero and Ken Foray and just all these people. And it just like my love for it just started growing, and I kind of like expanded, you know, from his zombie movies to his other movies, you know, like The Dark Half, Night Riders, Monkey Shines, Crazies, just all these Bruiser, and especially Martin really stuck with me. I've only seen it once, and that was all the way back in middle school, but I remember just being in love with that, and I never had a chance to rewatch it since then. Never just come across it to buy it, but I remember just being like blowing me away, because it's a vampire story. It's not a vampire story. It's something else. There's like religious drama to it. There's like family drama. There's like stuff about mental illness and all that. And it's just a fantastic movie that's horribly underrated. And I mean, you know, getting back to my like just obsessive research of these movies that I would watch. I would always watch interviews with him or listen to the commentaries and just listening to him talk, even though he looked fucking old as sin, like grandfather fucking time in huge glasses and a vest. Like hearing him talk and stuff, he was just always so full of life and energy, and he just loved talking about his movies and talking about zombies. And he made movies with his friends. Tom Savini, he was always doing movies. Like he helps get Tom Savini's career going as the special effects guy, and who led way for Greg Nicotero and KMB, and that all of the best special effects that we have today are because of those two guys. And George Romero gave both of them their first start. Like I've heard stories of Greg Nicotero talking about how his family was vacationing in Rome, and he just happened to meet George Romero there, who was in Rome or Italy writing the script for Dawn of the Dead. And just a few short years later, Greg Nicotero got hired to do the special effects for Day of the Dead.
Wow.
He was an apprentice for Tom Savini. So, this big whole family thing. And horror, just the genre and filmmaking, just in general, like what you said with the black protagonists and special effects and all that, they wouldn't be where they are today without him. And it's going to get overlooked because he's a horror filmmaker. He's an old school horror movie maker from back in the his heydays was in the late 60s and through the mid 80s. Sadly, he's going to get forgotten by a lot of people, but to horror fans, like he's one of the godfathers, and he'll always stick with us.
Absolutely. Chris?
Yeah, I mean, there's really not much I can do at this point besides echo what you and Matt said, especially Matt, because he just nailed it. It was the first time that I'm jealous that he got to speak first because he said it so eloquently.
He really did.
And everything. It's just you think about iconic directors and everything like that. You generally don't have a big list of names of that's iconic for horror. There's really just the holy trinity, or what you can, I guess, call the unholy trinity, which is the top three horror directors people think of. Wes Craven. I had his name on the tip of my tongue a minute ago.
John Carpenter, you can say it.
John Carpenter. Yeah, John Carpenter, Wes Craven, and then of course George Romero. George Romero didn't just he defined that entire genre. A lot of horror movies up to that point were the slasher films, or you had some of the old school horror characters like Dracula. You had vampires, you had werewolves. Prior to George Romero, zombies weren't really a thing in pop culture. He defined that entire genre. He took it, he made such an amazing film with these zombies that it actually created that entire genre of movies, of zombie films. He was the definitive director of that. And he was never as much as it is that he's a horror icon, he never did horror for the sake of horror.
Right.
There was always some sort of social commentary behind it. His horror was highlighting social issues. And, Matt talked about in the movie Martin, there's the whole thing about the mental health issues and everything like that. And that's what George Romero was really good at, was highlighting specific issues that people deal with behind the crux of these horrible things. It's just such a major loss for the horror world. And like he said, like Matt said, horror as a genre tends to get shitted on.
Yeah.
And especially nowadays, because a lot of studios don't take it seriously and they just pop out one jump scare after another, all these jump scare horror movies. And there's really no depth to them. And that's the thing with George Romero, is there was always depth to his horror films. There was always something much more meaningful behind it. That's why people loved it. It wasn't because things were bloody and gory, and there was that. Yeah, we loved that too. We loved, that juxtaposition and everything, but it was also because you could get invested in the characters. You can get invested in the storyline, what was going on. It wasn't just about watching people being brutalized, some of the movies now are just kind of torture porn. It wasn't just about being scared. it was like legitimate themes to what he was doing, and he was a master at it. And you know, you have a few horror directors out there now who I think will be like the next crop. You have like the Guillermo del Toros, you have like the James Wan. James Wan is really great at creating atmosphere in his movies and stuff like that. But like I said, he was one of the icons. He was one of the forefathers of what modern horror is, and it's a major loss. It's a major loss to the horror.
I said I love having these dudes on here. It's true. So listen, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. I want to thank y'all for being here, Chris. Thank you for marathoning the weekend with me.
No problem.
And Matt, thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Of course, wouldn't miss it.
And I want to thank you guys out there for hanging out, geeking out with us, all things Comic-Con, and tipping our hats to the one, the great George A. Romero. I'm G1. We'll see you here next week. Peace.